First contact gone wrong. The ceremonial hall of Orbital Station Unity gleamed under soft amber lights as Captain Ilara Vega adjusted her dress uniform. 20 years in Earth's Space Force had prepared her for many things, but nothing quite like this. Humanity's first official diplomatic contact with an advanced alien civilization. Nervous? Asked Commander Liam Chen, her executive officer and friend of 15 years. Terrified, Vega admitted with a half-smile, but excited. This is what we've worked for since we detected their signals 3 years ago. Through the viewport, Earth hung like a blue-green jewel against the backdrop of endless stars. Humanity had expanded to Mars and several moons of Jupiter and Saturn over the past century, but remained confined to their home solar system. The HFY Collective, by contrast, spanned dozens of star systems according to the information they had shared. A federation of 7 sentient species, united in peaceful cooperation and scientific advancement. The HFY delegation is approaching the docking bay, announced the station's eye. Estimated arrival in 5 minutes. Vega turned to address the assembled human delegation, 12 of Earth's finest diplomats, scientists, and military representatives, all chosen for this historic moment. Remember, she said, today we represent not just ourselves, but every human who has ever lived and every human yet to be born. Let's make a good first impression. The main doors slid open with a soft hiss. Vega held her breath as the alien delegation entered. They were remarkable in their diversity. The lead diplomat was humanoid but stood nearly 8 feet tall, with silver-blue skin that seemed to shimmer under the lights. Behind came beings that defied easy description, some with multiple limbs, others with features that seemed to shift and change as they moved. I am High Emissary Thoril of the HFY Collective, the tall being said, its voice melodious through the translation device. We come with peaceful intentions and the hope of friendship between our peoples. Vega stepped forward. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, we welcome you to Unity Station. I am Captain Ilara Vega. The initial exchanges went smoothly. The aliens seemed genuinely interested in human culture, asking thoughtful questions about Earth's history, governance systems, and technological development. After 2 hours of formal discussions, Vega began to relax. This was working better than anyone had dared hope. Perhaps we might share a meal together, suggested Emissary Thoril. Breaking bread is a custom our cultures share. As they moved toward the station's dining facility, Commander Chen stepped close to Vega, his voice low. Captain, something's wrong. Security scans are picking up unusual energy signatures from their delegation. Vega frowned. From where? Multiple sources. I've alerted station security, but... The first explosion cut him off mid-sentence, ripping through the far wall of the ceremonial hall. The blast threw Vega to the floor, her ears ringing as emergency systems blared to life. Everyone down, she shouted, crawling toward a young scientist who lay bleeding nearby. Before she could reach him, a second explosion tore through the room. Through the smoke and chaos, Vega saw Emissary Thoril and the alien delegation being rushed toward their ship by armed guards who hadn't been part of the original group. They're leaving us, shouted Dr. Rice, the head of Earth's Xenobiology Department, as she helped the wounded diplomat. Vega grabbed her communicator. Station control, lock down all docking bays. The alien delegation is. A third explosion, larger than the first 2, cut off her transmission. The station's emergency protocols activated, sealing compartments and triggering fire suppression systems. Captain, Chen called out. He was pinned under debris, blood streaming from a wound on his forehead. Their ships are disengaging forcefully. They've destroyed the docking clamps. Through the viewport, Vega watched in disbelief as the HFY vessels pulled away from the damaged station, leaving the human delegation behind to die. Get medical teams here now, Vega ordered the station's eye, and get me a direct line to Earth Command. 6 hours later, Vega stood in the station's damaged communication center, facing the grim image of Admiral Helena Ryder on the main screen. Only 5 of the 12 human delegates had survived the attack. The Exarathi leadership is claiming no responsibility, Ryder said, her face tight with controlled fury. They say a radical faction must have infiltrated their diplomatic team. With respect, Admiral, that's convenient, Vega replied, wincing as a medic treated a burn on her arm. I was there. The explosions were precisely targeted to kill humans while leaving their escape route intact. Their security team appeared immediately after the first blast, armed and ready. I believe you, Ilara, Ryder sighed. The question is what we do now. The Exarathi have a massive fleet positioning itself at the edge of our solar system. They claim it's for peacekeeping after this unfortunate incident. They're preparing for war, Vega said flatly. That's our assessment as well. Ryder reached for something off-screen, then held up a data chip. This is why I'm glad you survived, Captain. You've just been reassigned, effective immediately. Reassigned. You're being transferred to Project Defiance. Defiance? I've never heard of it. Few have. It's been our best-kept secret for 15 years. Ryder's expression hardened. When we first detected alien signals, we prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. The HNS Defiance is humanity's insurance policy. The next day, despite her injuries, Vega stood in stunned silence as her shuttle approached an enormous shipyard hidden in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. At its center floated what could only be described as a warship, but unlike anything Earth had publicly acknowledged building. Welcome to Project Defiance, said Chief Engineer Sofia Martinez, greeting Vega as she disembarked. Impressive, isn't she? The ship was massive, at least 2 kilometers long, with a sleek black hull that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. No external weapons were visible, but Vega sensed lethal purpose in every line of its design. How long has this been under construction? Vega asked, still taking in the scale of the vessel. The Defiance concept began 20 years ago. This vessel specifically, 10 years of building. We've been testing systems for the past 3. Martine smiled thinly. And no one knew. Earth governments actually agreed on something. Vega asked, incredulous. They agreed on one thing. If we weren't alone in the universe, we needed to be prepared. As they walked through the ship's corridors, Vega saw crews working frantically to prepare for launch. The attack had accelerated all timelines. Our latest intelligence shows that Exarathi have begun attacks on our outer colonies, Martines explained, her voice tight with anger. They're claiming to target terrorist bases responsible for the diplomatic incident. That's a lie, Vega said. Of course it is, Martines agreed. But they have technology centuries beyond ours. Or so they think. Martinez stopped before a sealed door marked Restricted and placed her hand on a scanner. The door opened to reveal a pulsing blue-green core surrounded by technical equipment Vega couldn't begin to understand. What am I looking at? The reason Defiance will win this war. Technology that will make one human ship worth 100 of theirs. Martinez's eyes reflected the blue-green light. When Defiance enters battle, everything changes. 3 days later, as Vega reviewed final preparations from the bridge, Admiral Ryder arrived unexpectedly. The Exarathi have destroyed our Europa outpost, she said without preamble. 15,000 dead. Vega closed her eyes briefly. When do we launch? Tomorrow. Ryder handed her a small box containing captain's insignia. The ship is yours, Captain Vega. Defiance needs a commander who understands what we're fighting for. Someone who saw firsthand what the Exarathi are capable of. As Vega looked out at humanity's greatest weapon, she thought of the dead diplomats who had hoped for peace and the colonists who never had a chance to fight back. The Exarathi think they know what humans are, she said quietly. They're about to learn how wrong they are. Turning the tide. Captain Ilara Vega felt the gentle vibration of the Defiance's engines beneath her boots as they approached the Ganymede colony. The bridge crew worked in focused silence, each person aware of the weight of their mission. Outside the massive viewports, the stars remained fixed points of light as they traveled using the ship's experimental phase drive, a propulsion system that allowed them to move through space without conventional FTL limitations. Status report, Vega said, her voice calm despite the tension. "We'll reach Ganymede in 3 minutes, Captain," replied Navigation Officer Kaido Nakamura. "Long-range scans show heavy Xerathi activity throughout the Jupiter system." Vega nodded. In the 2 weeks since the initial attack, the Xerathi had systematically targeted human outposts and colonies, destroying some and occupying others. Earth's conventional defense forces had fought bravely, but were overwhelmingly outmatched by the aliens' superior technology. "Put the tactical display on the main screen," she ordered. The central holographic display flickered to life, showing the Jupiter system. Red markers indicating Xerathi vessels swarmed around Ganymede, one of humanity's largest off-Earth colonies with a population of over 200,000. "Count," Vega demanded. Tactical Officer Maya Rodriguez, a brilliant young officer with lightning-fast reflexes, studied her readings. 217 Xerathi vessels detected, Captain. Various classes, all heavily armed. She hesitated. There are also signs of orbital bombardment on the colony. Vega's jaw tightened, but her expression remained controlled. Life signs on the surface. "Yes, the main colony shelters are holding, but they won't last much longer under sustained attack. They've been fighting for 3 days." Vega turned to address the bridge crew. All eyes were on her. These were Earth's finest, chosen for their skills, courage, and ability to keep cool under pressure. Many had families on Earth or in the colonies. All understood what failure would mean. "We are outnumbered 200 to 1, she told them. But Defiance was built for exactly this scenario. Each of you was selected because you are the best at what you do. Today we prove that quality matters more than quantity." She moved to the center of the bridge where a 3-dimensional model of the Defiance floated above a small pedestal. This ship carries technologies no human vessel has ever deployed in combat. Adaptive shield systems that grow stronger with each hit, quantum disruption weapons that bypass conventional defenses, and most importantly, this crew. She looked at each officer in turn. "We fight not just for the colonists of Ganymede, but for every human being everywhere." "Approaching Ganymede," announced the ship's eye. "Exiting phase space in 30 seconds. Battle stations," Vega ordered. The lighting shifted to combat mode, bathing the bridge in a soft blue glow. "Weapons hot," reported Rodriguez. "Shields at maximum," added Defensive Systems Officer Wei. "Engineering reports all systems optimal," said Executive Officer Chen, who had insisted on joining the mission despite his injuries from the station attack. Vega took her command chair. "They don't know what we're capable of. The adaptive shield technology has never been deployed in combat." She paused, then nodded firmly. "Let's show them." The Defiance emerged from phase space at the edge of the Jupiter system. Immediately, alarm signals flashed across every console. "We've been detected," Rodriguez announced. 15 Xerathi cruisers breaking formation to intercept us." "Let them come," Vega said. "Begin recording all sensor data. Everything we learn today will help the rest of the fleet when they deploy." The main viewer showed the approaching Xerathi vessels, sleek, predatory craft with gleaming hulls that shifted color as they moved. "They're scanning us," reported Communications Officer Park. "Receiving transmission." On screen, Vega ordered. A being appeared on the main display. Not the silver-blue diplomat from the peace talks, but a creature with mottled red skin and 4 yellow eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. "Human vessel," it said, its words translated by the ship's computer. "This system is now under Xerathi control. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will result in your destruction." Vega stood, facing the alien commander. "This is Captain Ilara Vega of the Earth Defense Force vessel Defiance. Ganymede is a human colony under Earth protection. Your forces have committed an act of war. Withdraw immediately. The alien made a sound that might have been laughter. One ship against our armada. Your species' arrogance is remarkable. Final warning, Vega said simply. Withdraw. The alien commander cut the transmission. They're powering weapons, Rodriguez reported. Multiple missile launches detected. Vega retook her seat. Tracking systems online. Let the first wave hit our shields. Officer Wei looked up in surprise. Captain, trust the technology. Wei. The adaptive shields need baseline data on their weapons. The bridge crew watched tensely as dozens of missiles streaked toward them. Impact in 5 seconds, Rodriguez announced. 4, 3, 2, 1. The ship shuddered as the first missile struck. The lights flickered briefly. Shield status, Vega demanded. We checked his readings, then looked up in amazement. Shields at 95% and strengthening. The adaptive algorithms are analyzing the attack patterns and energy signatures. As expected, Vega said. Now let's respond. Target the lead vessel's propulsion systems. Quantum disruptors only, minimum power. Rodriguez's fingers danced across her console. Target locked. Fire. A beam of shimmering energy lanced out from the Defiance, connecting with the nearest Harathi cruiser. There was no explosion, no visible damage, but the alien ship suddenly went dark, drifting powerless. Direct hit, Rodriguez reported. Their systems are completely offline. The other ships are adjusting formation, Nakamura said. They're surrounding us. More missiles streaked toward the Defiance, followed by energy beams of various colors. The ship trembled but held firm. Shields now at 110% capacity, Wei announced with growing confidence. The adaptive systems are working better than predicted. Vega leaned forward. Target the next 4 ships. Same strategy. One by one, the Exarathi vessels went dark as the Defiance's weapons found their mark. The remaining ships began to pull back, clearly confused by what they were witnessing. We're receiving transmissions from the surface, Park said suddenly. The colonists can see the battle from their shelters. They're cheering, Captain. Vega allowed herself a small smile. Open a channel to the Exarathi fleet. The red-skinned alien commander appeared again, its yellow eyes widened in what might have been shock. This was a demonstration, Vega said calmly. We disabled 10 of your vessels without destroying them. Their crews are unharmed. Now I will make my offer once. Withdraw from this system immediately, or we will be forced to take more permanent action. The alien was silent for a long moment. What are you? It finally asked. We are humanity, Vega answered, and we are just getting started. You have 1 hour to begin evacuation. As the transmission ended, Commander Chen moved to stand beside Vega. Will they withdraw? He asked quietly. Vega watched the tactical display, where hundreds of red dots still surrounded Ganymede. No, she said, but now they're afraid. And that changes everything. She turned to address the bridge crew again. The real battle is about to begin. What we've done so far was just the opening move. The Exarathi forces overwhelmed this colony once. They won't retreat easily. Rodriguez looked up from her console, determination in her eyes. They don't know what we're capable of yet. No, Vega agreed. They don't. And that's our advantage. In the months that followed, the HMS Defiance became the spearhead of humanity's counteroffensive. After securing Ganymede, Vega led her ship in a strategic campaign across the solar system, dismantling the Exarathi occupation forces piece by piece. Each victory provided more data to improve the ship's systems and more intelligence about their enemy. Earth's shipyards worked around the clock, incorporating the lessons learned from Defiance into a new generation of warships. What had begun as one desperate last stand evolved into a coordinated resistance that surprised even the most optimistic human strategists. 6 months after the first attack, Vega stood on the bridge of the Defiance as they prepared to enter the Procyon system. The first time a human ship would venture beyond Sol to take the fight directly to the Exarathi. We've decoded enough of their communications to confirm it, Chief Intelligence Officer Harrison reported. The Xarethi attacked us because they discovered our potential. Our potential? Vega questioned. Humans adapt faster than any species they've encountered. They saw our technological growth curve and projected it forward. According to their models, we would surpass them within 3 centuries. Harrison's expression was grim. They decided a preemptive strike was the only solution. Vega considered this information as the Defiance prepared for its most ambitious mission yet, a direct assault on the Xarathi command hub coordinating the invasion of human space. They were right about one thing, she said finally. Humans adapt. But they severely underestimated our timeline. As the Defiance dropped out of phase space at the edge of the Procyon system, facing the largest concentration of Xarathi warships yet encountered, Vega felt a strange calm. The odds were still against them, but for the first time since that fateful day on Unity Station, the future of humanity no longer hung by a thread. All systems ready, Captain, Commander Chen reported. Begin the approach, Vega ordered. Let's show them exactly how quickly humans can adapt. The Defiance surged forward, a single human warship against an alien armada, carrying with it the hopes of Earth and the dawning realization across the galaxy that humanity would not go quietly into the night.